Justice Suryakanth ji. Honorable the Chief Justice, Mr. Sheel Nagu, Honorable Ms. Justice Manjari Nehru Kaul, Professor Balram Gupta, Madam Ritu Behel, Director Administration, CJA, I welcome you all. Thank you. Honorable Mr. Justice Suryakanth, Judge, Supreme Court of India, our Chief Guest for the day. Honorable the Chief Justice Mr. Sheel Nagu, Punjab and Haryana High Court. Honorable Mrs. Justice Manjari Nehru Kaul, Judge, Punjab and Haryana High Court. Professor Balram Gupta, the man in whose honor we are gathered today. Madam Ritu Behel, Director Administration, Chandigarh Judicial Academy. Honorable Judges of the Punjab and Haryana High Court, Chief Justice Arun Palli, Madam Justice Ritu Behel Bari, General VP Malik, my revered teachers, friends, family, ladies and gentlemen. A very warm and heartfelt welcome to all of you. It is said that some books are to be tasted, some are to be swallowed, while others are to be chewed. And we are gathered here today to read and reflect and release the new volume, Shaping the Judges, Essays in Honor of Dr. Balram K. Gupta. I would request Professor Balram Gupta and Madam Ritu Behel to felicitate our dignitaries for today. Honorable Mr. Justice Suryakanth, Judge, Supreme Court of India. May I request you, sir and ma'am, to felicitate Honorable the Chief Justice, Mr. Sheel Nagu, from Punjab and Haryana High Court. And I would also request you to honor Honorable Mrs. Justice Manjari Nehru Kaul, Judge, Punjab and Haryana High Court. I would also request Professor Balram Gupta to welcome Madam Ritu Behel. We now turn to the moment for which we have gathered, to release the volume, the work, the book, which shows academic integrity, affection, and admiration for a man who is also my father. I would request the dignitaries to unveil the book, Shaping the Judges, Essays in Honor of Dr. Balram Gupta, published by Law and Justice Publishing Company. Thank you everyone. With your indulgence, I now move from my role as an anchor to that of an editor and of a daughter. They say to write is human, to edit is divine, but to edit a book about your father, that is something more than divinity, I think it takes courage, perspective, and probably an emotional thesaurus. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you all for being here. It is a privilege and a profoundly personal moment to speak today. Not only as the editor of the book Shaping the Judges, but as the daughter of a man in whose honor we are gathered here today, whose life and values we seek to, this volume actually seeks to honor. The idea behind the book was not born in a library or at a desk. It was to take birth in conversations, in classrooms filled with curiosity, and in the quiet wisdom that my father imparted through decades of his work and determination to work hard. For him, it was never a perfunctory task. It was a mission, a sacred trust, a way of life. This book is a collection of voices from the bench, the bar, and the academics, where each essay reflects not only upon legal insight, but also upon the values that go on to shape a judge. Integrity, empathy, ethical courage, discipline. It not only seeks to pay a tribute, but it offers guidance. Ladies and gentlemen, as I edited this book, I was reminded again and again that teaching is never a solitary task. It echoes through generations. And I'm so very grateful to every contributor, to every person who wrote for this book, and he wrote for a teacher who made a difference. The journey has not only been an insight into my professional commitment, but has happened because of the quiet and unwavering support of my family. My mother, whose silent strength showed behind my father's tireless pursuits, my brother, who kept showing us the way, my husband, whose partnership is my greatest anchor, and I fondly remember my late father-in-law, Justice H.S. Bedi, himself a distinguished jurist, and I know he would have found joy in today's gathering. And so we are here, launching this volume in the very halls where my father has had his most impactful years. Not merely instructing, but inspiring. And as you turn the pages of these books, I hope you will see that this is not just law, but it is a legacy. It is not just essays, but echoes of mentorship, of morality, and of meaning. Thank you all very much for being here today with us to celebrate this volume and this work. And now I move on to my role as an anchor, and I would like to first welcome and call upon Professor Balram Gupta, who is the very subject of this book, but I know that he would rather be called its spirit. Professor Balram Gupta, thank you.
Justice Suryakant, Judge Supreme Court of India, Justice Sheel Nagu, Chief Justice of Punjab and Haryana High Court, and Patron-in-Chief of Chandigarh Judicial Academy. Justice Manorji Kaul, the Judge of the High Court and President of Board of Governors of Chandigarh Judicial Academy. Such a distinguished gathering this evening. I feel honored with your presence and my family. I take this opportunity to share the third part of my innings relating to judicial education, shaping the judges, mentoring the judges. It was March 10, 2013, I received a phone call from Justice Jagdish Singh Khia telling me that the Prime Minister has approved my appointment as Director of the National Judicial Academy, and soon I would get the letter of appointment from Chief Justice of India. Get ready to come to us. In that particular background, I soon met my Chief Justice, Justice A.K. Sikri. My son told me, Papa, these are your harvesting years and you are running away. I met the Chief Justice, shared what my son had told me. Justice Sikri smiled and told me, Balram, time comes when you have to give back to the society. You know why you have been picked up for this responsible position? You are a rare mix of academics and professional skills. We cannot find another Balram. These were inspiring words which motivated me to move to Bhopal. I had a short term because of my age limitation. Shorter the term, bigger the challenge, so that you can contribute as much as possible. My first particular genuine task was, what is judicial education? And I thought to myself, if you wish to be a good judge, be a good human being. Judicial education is not contained in the books. The senior judges come share their experiences with the younger judges. It is in that background I accepted the challenge. In a short term, I could contribute. And within 2 years' time, whatever I could do, I did that. I led the Indian delegation to the Canadian Judicial Institute. At the regional conferences around the country, we had public law series which ultimately got published in a book form of the National Judicial Academy. I'm not cataloging all those activities. They are listed in my first book for that matter. I came back. Justice Suryakant was the president of Chandigarh Judicial Academy. Chief Justice Wazif Dar, he told me that Balram, take charge of the Chandigarh Judicial Academy. Justice Suryakant, Justice S.S. Saro, they all asked me to do that. My friends told me, coming from the national level to the state level, would you be comfortable with that? I talked to Justice Suryakant and I told him, I like judicial education work. This is to my liking. And I feel that I can contribute. And particularly what I could not do during my short term at the National Judicial Academy, I would like to carry forward my work in that particular context. I accepted that. And I had my most productive years, including at the National Judicial Academy, at the Chandigarh Judicial Academy. My activities at the Chandigarh Judicial Academy are catalogued in my autobiographical account, My Journey with Law and Justice. I would like to mention a couple of the things that I could do. I could organize training programs for Sri Lankan judges, for Bangladesh judges. In the year 2017, 1/3 of Sri Lankan judiciary was at Chandigarh Judicial Academy. And the then Chief Justice of Sri Lanka, Justice Deb, was the guest of honor on the 15th of August 2017 at the High Court celebrations of Independence Day. That was a very wholesome contribution. And even now, the Sri Lankan Judicial Academy is asking that no more programs should be organized at the Chandigarh Judicial Academy. We are in the process of doing that. We organized 1 month residential program for the JAG officers. That was again a success. Not only that they had their classes, our judicial training officers and the JAG officers, their classes were separate. But they dined together, they jogged together, they lived together. And that bonding which could be brought out was an amazing experience for that matter. We had a mock trial in collaboration with the United Nations ODC, and in that particular mock trial, our judicial training officers participated. The kind of judgment which was written, the foreign experts who had come to evaluate that, they said this is an international level judgment which they have written. And they said that this was a model mock trial which they took to the different jurisdictions around the world for that matter. That was what we could achieve at that time. All these activities are catalogued in that. You know, judicial education is converting the classrooms of the judicial academies into courtrooms, strengthening the judicial human fabric, building up judicial communication, judicial temper, and many other aspects. They were the real exposure of judicial education in this particular academy for that matter. I'm very satisfied what we could do, achieve, and mentor during those particular years. How this book was conceived. I asked Shruti, will you do this book? We structured the theme, the sub-themes of the book, prepared a theme note and sub-themes for that matter. And the work started. This was in the middle of 2023. 2 years effort on the part of Shruti, the contributions from the best of judicial, academic, juristic minds gives me happiness, satisfaction, and a feeling of contribution in shaping and mentoring the judges. Thank you, Shruti, for giving me this gift on the completion of my 81 years of life journey. I feel so blessed to have you as my daughter. Of course, the family support, starting from my father to my grandchildren, They were my energy. I could do my work the way I wanted. They were a delight and a joy in my life for that matter. And when I look around in this auditorium this evening, I find so many of you have been an integral part of my life journey, the 3 different roles that I have played as a teacher of law, as a professional, and as a judicial mentor. And I reflect back that I have done this with the spirit of giving back to the society for that matter. This giving back is the spirit which is the Rotary culture, which has been with me for the last 50 years for that matter. Paul Harris, the founder of Rotary, said, "Human civilization will perish if we cease to help each other. Therefore, be the lamp, the lifeboat, and the ladder of each one in your life journey." Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. That was warm, affectionate, and right from the heart. Justice Kaul stands as a testament to what it means to be a woman today in the Indian judiciary. Not defined simply by status, but by strength, by resilience, and by balance. And I'm reminded of the words of Ruth Bader Ginsburg, who said that women belong in all those places where decisions have to be made. And her career, I think, Justice Kaul's career, exemplifies this. May I request you, ma'am, to share your words with us.
Honorable Mr. Justice Suryakant, Judge, Supreme Court of India, Justice Sheel Nagu, Chief Justice, Punjab and Haryana High Court, Dr. Balram Gupta, Dr. Shruti Bedi, Ms. Bail, my brother and sister judges, former judges, ladies and gentlemen, Namaskar. It is truly an honor and a privilege to stand before you on this special occasion, the launch of Shaping the Judges, Essays in Honor of Dr. Balram K. Gupta. Today is not just about unveiling a book. It is about celebrating a life of purpose, vision, and unwavering commitment to justice, ethics, and education. It is a moment that invites us to pause, reflect, and acknowledge the extraordinary journey of a man whose influence has left an indelible imprint on the Indian legal landscape. When we speak of Professor Gupta, we do not speak of an academic or a jurist. We speak of a force, a teacher, a mentor, a philosopher, and above all, a builder of minds and character. His reach has extended far beyond courtrooms and classrooms. He has shaped the very ethos of judicial education in India and inspired generations to pursue not just legal excellence, but moral clarity. Those who have been fortunate to learn from him or even to know him will agree his brilliance lies not just in his scholarship, but in his belief that law is not an abstract construct, but a living instrument of justice and humanity. He has lived this belief in the way he teaches, the way he mentors, and the way he uplifts everyone around him. Shaping the judges is much more than a compilation of essays. It is, in every sense, a tribute to a legacy. A legacy not measured by awards or titles, but by the values he has instilled in others: humility, integrity, critical thought, and compassion. The contributors to this volume reflect the depth of that legacy. The essays have been penned down by some of the most respected names in the Indian legal fraternity, among them Justices Suryakant, B.V. Nagaratna, Chief Justice Chandrachud, Justice Lokur, and so many others. Alongside these eminent jurists, scholars like Professor Upendra Bakshi have also shared their reflections. Their words are not just tributes, they are evidence of how deeply Professor Gupta has shaped thought leaders in law, education, and governance. For me, this moment carries a deep personal significance. My connection with Dr. Gupta is not confined to his professional stature. He and his brother, Justice Jawaharlal Gupta, have shared a long and treasured friendship with my father, a bond that has over time blossomed into close connection between our families. I have seen firsthand the values he embodies, his humility, his grace, and his unwavering commitment to truth and learning. What makes today even more special is the presence of Shruti, his daughter, who has so thoughtfully and lovingly edited this volume. To me, Shruti is not just the editor of this book. She's a dear friend, someone I cherish as a younger sister. Her contribution to this work is not merely editorial. It is heartfelt, rooted in understanding, and infused with the same clarity and strength that defines her father's legacy. In every era, there are a few individuals whose presence quietly alters the course of things, who shape not just the institutions they serve, but the people they touch. Professor Gupta is one of those rare few. His is a legacy, not of grandeur, but of grounded greatness. Shaping the judges stands as a living testament to this legacy. It reminds us that the most enduring impact that we can have is not in the positions we hold, but in the values we impart, in the lives we touch, the minds we shape, and the hope we kindle. This book will, and I'm sure and believe, continue to inspire not only legal minds, but anyone who believes in the power of knowledge, mentorship, and the quiet dignity of service. It is indeed my proud privilege to be a part of this celebration, to honor a life so well lived, and to stand alongside so many of you in recognizing the legacy of a man who has truly shaped the judges and indeed the thinkers, leaders, and citizens of tomorrow. Thank you. Namaskar.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Your words have made me emotional. Well, it is an emotional moment. And thank you for those reflections, ma'am. Ladies and gentlemen, in Chief Justice Sheel Nagu, we see scholarly rigor and judicial restraint. To quote Lord Denning, he says, "A judge is not a knight errant, roaming at will, looking for his own ideal of beauty and of goodness." I think Chief Justice Sheel Nagu's professional life again tells us about both independence and institutional fidelity. Thank you, sir, for being with us today, and may I request you to share your thoughts and wisdom with our ladies and gentlemen. Thank you.
Very good evening to all. Honorable Mr. Justice Surikant, Judge Supreme Court of India, Honorable Justice Arun Palli, Chief Justice Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh High Court, Honorable Justice Ritu Bahari, former Chief Justice of Uttarakhand High Court, Honorable Justice Sanjeev Prakash Sharma, Rajasthan High Court, the Honorable President and members of the Board of Governors of the Academy, my sister and brother judges on the bench, respected former judges of this court, Professor Dr. Balram Gupta, Senior Advocate and former Director of National Judicial Academy, Bhopal, and Director of this Academy, Professor Shruti Bedi, the Editor, the Director of Chandigarh Judicial Academy, members of the Bar, the Advocate General of State of Punjab, the former Chief of the Army Staff, General Malik, distinguished guests, faculty members, academicians, ladies and gentlemen. It's a moment of immense pleasure for me to be part of this august gathering at the release of this insightful book, namely Shaping the Judges, Essays in Honor of Dr. Balram K. Gupta. This gathering is not merely to celebrate the publication of a book, but to pay tribute to the enduring legacy of a jurist, academician, a teacher, and a thinker, whose work has inspired and informed generations of students, lawyers, and judges in India. It is a matter of great pride and privilege for all of us to be present here today under the guardianship of Honorable Justice Surikant, Judge Supreme Court of India, who has been a source of inspiration for all of us. Thank you, sir, for being with us. The book Shaping of Judges is a reflection of conscience of legal fraternity, bringing together voices from judiciary, academia, and the practicing bar to honor a man who has profoundly shaped the intellectual and moral scaffolding of many who serve law. Dr. Gupta belongs to a rare class of legal scholars whose understanding of law is both profound and deeply humanistic. His vision of the judge is not that of a remote arbiter cloaked in robes, but of a humble seeker, one who listens more than he speaks, who strives to understand before he pronounces, and who dispenses justice not as a routine but as a sacred calling. The essays in this volume eloquently engage with that vision. My congratulations to editor Shruti Bedi who is a teacher and scholar in her own right. In an age where law frequently intersects with power, technology, and public sentiments, the role of a judge becomes all the more delicate and demanding. The essays in this volume urge the judge to be not only a guardian of the Constitution, but also a custodian of democratic values and constitutional morality. They underscore the importance of courage, both intellectual and moral, as the bedrock of sound and principled judging. Today, as we celebrate this intellectual milestone, let us also remind ourselves that to truly honor Dr. Gupta, we must strive to embody the virtues he has long championed, that is, discipline, integrity, humility, and an unwavering commitment to justice. Once again, I congratulate all stakeholders involved in the making of the book, Shaping the Judges. My gratitude to the dignitaries on and off the dais, and the audience for a patient hearing. Thank you. Jai Hind.
Thank you so much, sir, for those deep and valuable insights. Honorable Mr. Justice Suryakant, Judge, Supreme Court of India, has been responsible not for just shaping the bench, but also for inspiring the bar. He possesses a legal acumen which is not common. His judgments are eloquent, his speeches are captivating, because he understands the pulse of the society. For us here in Chandigarh, it is particularly special to have him with us, for the reason not only because this is the place of his professional origin, but I would say it is his Karam Bhumi. Sir, your words resonate not only in courtrooms, but also in classrooms, in conferences, in public life, where law is actually understood, felt, and realized. It is a deep privilege that we have you here with us. Ladies and gentlemen, may I present to you Honorable Mr. Justice Suryakant.
Justice Sri Lagu, Honorable the Chief Justice of Punjab and Haryana High Court, Justice Arun Palli, Honorable Chief Justice, Jammu Kashmir and Ladakh High Court. We have two, at least I could notice, former Honorable Chief Justices of the High Court, Justice Virender Singh and my sister Justice Ritu Bari among us. Justice Manjari Nehru Kaul on the dais. Distinguished present judges of the Punjab and Haryana High Court, led by Justice Ashwini Mishra, the senior most judge. A galaxy of former judges of the Punjab and Haryana High Court. Many of them have been my senior and who have really contributed a lot in shaping my own journey. We also have amongst us the learned judges now representing the High Courts of Rajasthan and Delhi. We also have another distinct class of the judge designates who are also present among us. Ever celebrated Dr. Balram Gupta, Senior Advocate and Professor Emeritus, Punjab University, Advocate General Punjab, very eminent senior advocates, many of them are sitting here, I could see them, members of the bar. General Malik, former Chief of the Army Staff, former Chief Secretaries of the State of Haryana, and some senior bureaucrats of Punjab and Haryana who are also present here. A galaxy of eminent academicians. I could see Professor Veer Singh is there, Professor Zohar is there. I'm not naming all of them because I'm fearful that I may not miss the names. But many of them are here. Thank you very much for being here with us. We also have some prominent citizens of Chandigarh. Mr. Tandon is here, Mr. Luther is here, who is associated closely with Rotary Club. And a very young and promising, and of course by now a very well experienced, eminent educationist, Professor Shruti Bedi, editor of today's this book we have released. Registrar General and other officers of the High Court, Director Ms. Ritu Bahel and other officers of the Chandigarh Judicial Academy. Earlier I thought I will address distinguished ladies and gentlemen, but then while sitting there I made some corrections. And pardon me if there is a mistake. There are distinguished ladies to whom I greatly respect. Mrs. Jawaharlal Gupta is here, Mrs. Balram Gupta is here, Mrs. Saro is here. My sister, Justice Bedi's sister is also here. And though, of course, these distinguished ladies include my wife also. There are surely some distinguished gentlemen also present here, friends from media. I could see some dear students also. Very good evening to all of you. My sincere apology for being almost half an hour delay, but this is a very eminent and a very meaningful and a very constructive day for me. I had gone on the invite of Justice Uday Lalit, former Chief Justice of India, in the morning, and I delivered Justice R.C. Lahoti Memorial Lecture today, that I could commence my speech around exact 12 o'clock and I finished at 1 o'clock. Then I rushed from there to airport, and some or the other the flights and some delay took place. Otherwise I would have made it at 4 o'clock here. So this is a second event for me to remember, and after Justice Lahoti we have with us Dr. Balram Gupta, and in his honor and respect that we have released this book today. Let me begin by borrowing the words of a very remarkable American historian, Henry Adam. And he said, and why I am quoting is that I think perfectly encapsulates the spirit of this momentous evening. He said, and I quote, "A teacher affects eternity. He can never tell where his influence will stop." Ladies and gentlemen, I think we all agree that today's congregation is in celebration of one of such teachers, a monolithic figure who has influenced so many of us. And that is the precise reason I wholeheartedly believe that Dr. Gupta cuts an iconoclastic path through the annals of Indian legal and academic history. His journey is one that is colored not only by brilliance but also grit and humility. His ability to pass knowledge is something, an extraordinary achievement in life. I must admit that my personal association with Dr. Gupta is in large part due to his mythical status at the bar. From my formative years in Chandigarh, I know firsthand that almost everyone has a fond memory in connection with Dr. Gupta's articulation and depth of legal acumen. Beyond the courtroom, Dr. Gupta's pivotal stint at both the National Judicial Academy and then at Chandigarh Judicial Academy, apart from his plethora of teaching roles, all cement his position as a luminary in the legal and judicial landscape of India. Those of us privileged to know him know that his strength lies not only in knowledge, but in his ability to pass that knowledge with clarity, humility, and conviction. Chaucer said, and I quote him, "And gladly would he learn and gladly teach. The manuscript that we release today is incontrovertible proof of Dr. Gupta's enduring legacy, as it boasts contributions from many serving and retired judges of the Supreme Court, apart from various eminent scholars and practitioners. I truly believe that the book Shaping the Judges is far more than a mere collection of essays. It's a work of deep thought and deeper gratitude. Edited with great care and insight by Professor Dr. Shruti Bedi, it stands at the confluence of scholarship and homage. The first part, titled Essays and Discourses, engages with the many dimensions of judicial life, ethics, training, institutional responsibility, and the emotional and intellectual burdens that come with adjudication. I too have contributed this conversation with a chapter on the role of humor in judgment writing, a theme often overlooked, but one that, in its own way, affirms the humanity of judicial process. The second part, Tributes and Testimonies, brings a tonal shift. Here, memories speak louder than metrics. Friends, colleagues, and students offer glimpses into the man behind the mission. What emerges is not just the portrait of a formidable academic, but that of a teacher who listened, a mentor who encouraged, and a guide who never lost faith in the nobility of the profession. Taken together, the two sections of this book trace the arc of a life work that has shaped generations. But Dr. Gupta's true achievement lies in the quiet transformation of judicial minds, one conversation, one lecture, one example at a time. Not through instruction alone, but through inspiration. The inspiration that I speak of is hinted at in the deliberate and invocative title of the book itself, namely, Shaping the Judges. This title brings me to the heart of what I am sharing with you, as most of it pertains to the larger relevance of Dr. Gupta's book. For centuries, our society has placed judges on pedestals, often exalting them to a plane almost removed from ordinary human experience. In doing so, we have tended to overlook a simple but profound truth. That is, judges are not born fully formed, imbued with perfect wisdom and detachment. They are instead molded by their education, judicial orientation, their surroundings, and the times in which they live. The title reminds us with clarity that judging is not merely a function, but a formation. A judge does not simply adjudicate disputes. A judge, in some measure, must represent the entirety of a nation's moral, social fabric, and constitutional principles. It is a process of cultivation of character and conviction of mind and moral compass. And that process, as this volume so powerfully argues, is neither incidental nor accidental. It must be intentional, thoughtful, and rooted in the highest ideals of justice. This is also why the task of shaping judges is so weighty. It is an undertaking not merely concerned with the mastery of the law. It is about nurturing temperament, instilling ethical restraint, and developing the ability to listen with empathy while deciding in alignment with constitutionalism. It is a process of slow chiseling, not just of skill, but of spirit. The essays in this book remind us that to shape a judge is to shape the spine of democracy itself. And that judicial excellence is as much about character as it is about intellect. The message that this book eloquently espouses could not be more timely. In a world growing more fractured, more impatient, and more complex, the judiciary stands as one of the last forms where reason must still prevail over rhetoric and conscience must rise above convenience. That is why we must continue to ask with utmost seriousness and sincerity that who shapes the judges and how? Dr. Gupta has spent his life answering that question, not with dogma, but with example. Through decades of teaching, mentoring, and institution building, he has shown us that shaping a judge is not a moment, but a mission. It begins in the classroom, it is tested in the courtroom, and it must be renewed every day in conduct. I profusely emphasize the importance of mentors only because, on a personal level, I have always believed that the legal profession, perhaps more than any other, rests on a secret chain of mentorship. The generosity of seniors, the silent influence of teachers, the careful watchfulness of those who came before us, these are the invisible foundations of good judging. I was fortunate to receive such guidance in my own journey, and I have long regarded it as both a gift and a duty to pass that ethos on. Before concluding my address, I would like to share a word about the editor of this volume, Professor Dr. Shruti Bedi, who has done an absolutely phenomenal job with this book, building upon her father's heritage. I have known her family for many years. Her father, of course, Dr. Balram Gupta, and her late father-in-law, Justice H.S. Bedi, who was not only one of the finest judges I have ever met, but a very close friend, a guide, and a mentor. I recall that Dr. Balram Gupta often spoke of his deep admiration for Lord Denning, of his clarity, his courage, his sense of justice. I have even sought fit to mention the same in my contributory essay for this book. In my essay, I have quoted Lord Denning. Well, all I would like to add before parting with you is that it's a remarkable tribute to a life well lived through decades of scholarship, teaching, judicial training, and unwavering commitment to institutional integrity. Dr. Gupta has come to reflect many of the same qualities he is so revered. Lord Denning once said, and I'm quoting, he said, "The judge must not be a mere mechanic, a mere working mason laying brick on brick without caring how they come together to make a building. He, means a judge, must be an architect, thinking of the structure as a whole, building for the generations to come." In his own way, Dr. Gupta has embodied that very spirit, not only shaping legal thought, but shaping those who think legally. His life and work will continue to inspire generations of lawyers and judges to come. This book is but a testament to that fact. Ladies and gentlemen, in shaping the judges, we do not just celebrate one man, we celebrate the spirit of mentorship, the culture of reflection, and the enduring value of justice tempered with wisdom. I am confident that this book will resonate with judges, law students, academics, and all those who believe that the soul of law lies not in power but in character. I would like to once again congratulate one and all associated for this fine work. I will specially thank to Dr. Professor Shruti Bedi, Dr. Balram Gupta, and all those who associated with the event for inviting me. Thank you very much. Thank you, Jai Hind.
Thank you so much, sir. And I stand proved correct when I said his speech is always captivating. It is straight from the heart, and we have felt those words. Thank you so much, sir, for being here, for contributing to the book, and for releasing this volume. I do not know how I can express my gratitude to all those who are gathered here today, who are a part of this work, and who have contributed and authored essays and tributes in this volume. Thank you so much, everyone, for being there through the journey of our lives. But to do the honors of expressing our gratitude, I would like to invite Madam Ritu Behel, Director Administration, Chandigarh Judicial Academy, to share her words with you.
Honorable Mr. Justice Suryakant, Judge, Supreme Court of India. Honorable Mr. Justice Sheel Nagu, Chief Justice, Punjab and Haryana High Court, cum Patron-in-Chief, Chandigarh Judicial Academy. Honorable Mr. Justice Arun Palli, Chief Justice, Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh High Court. Honorable Mrs. Justice Manjari Nehru Kaul, Judge, Punjab and Haryana High Court, cum President, Board of Governors, Chandigarh Judicial Academy. All the honorable judges of the Punjab and Haryana High Court, Delhi High Court and Rajasthan High Court, former judges of the Punjab and Haryana High Court, and all the members of this august gathering. Good evening to everyone. Thank you. Though it is customary to speak something on such occasions, I feel I am too small a fry to honor such special dignitaries like Honorable Mr. Justice Suryakant, Judge, Supreme Court of India, and Honorable Mr. Justice Sheel Nagu, Chief Justice of the Punjab and Haryana High Court, who have been nurturing this academy. The mark of events which led to the growth of this academy under the guidance of Honorable Mr. Justice Suryakant are still present and felt all around. The presence of Lordship on this occasion of book launch itself speaks volumes of the importance he gives not only to this city, but also to the judicial institutions located here. My sincere thanks to you, sir. The Academy continues to flourish under the guidance of our patron, Honorable Mr. Justice Sheel Nagu. It would have been a privilege for me to honor all the elite judges individually, but the constraints of time and the availability of our chief guest has prevailed to restrict me. My sincere apologies for the same. May I also extend my thanks to all the speakers who, by their vast experience, have enlightened us and the audience on this book launch. The book itself understandably shows the path set forth by the legal luminaries and has been compiled gracefully by Dr. Shruti Bedi under the guidance of her father, Dr. Balram K. Gupta. The contributions made by Dr. Gupta as Director Academics, Chandigarh Judicial Academy for a long time can never be lost sight of. Thank you, sir, for that. The book authored by his daughter is a very fitting tribute to him. I extend my thanks to Advocate Mahir Sood and his team for the live telecast of this book launch, and to the team of UILS for all the help rendered by them. I would also like to extend my thanks to my colleagues and other staff members of the Chandigarh Judicial Academy who have worked tirelessly under the guidance of the President, Board of Governors of this Academy, Honorable Mrs. Justice Manjari Nehru Kaul, to make this function a big success. I also venture to assure the dignitaries that the Chandigarh Judicial Academy will progress and demonstrate better in future for the benefit of all concerned. Last, but not the least, my sincere thanks to this august gathering who are present here and to those whom I may have missed. Thank you. Jai Hind.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for those words of gratitude. Ladies and gentlemen, may I now request you to please rise for the national anthem.
जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मागे गाहे तव जय गाथा जनगण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. The book is also available outside in the lobby at a special price for those who are interested. And may I request everyone to join us for a cup of tea in the mess down the corridor. And may your conversations over the tea be as nourishing as the cup of tea. And may this book find place not only on the shelves but in your hearts. Thank you for being with us. Thank you.